has Facebook? Who has Twitter? Who has YouTube? We're running out of people with hands in the air. Excellent. Do you know the difference between a website and your social media marketing? Chances are you don't. So we're going to get you involved to show you what it means. Each of these tables is a website. You are all a little website. You can't talk to each other because you're all engaged in your own community. Now I'm going to pick a table at the front, my little table down here with Denise. Between the three of you, I want you to come up with one comment about the conference. Just one, and you've got 30 seconds to do it. Got it? I want one of you to go to the table behind you and tell them that comment. No, it's not rude. This is a nice conference. You got it? Now, everybody at that table, make sure you all know the comment. Has everybody now heard the comment? I want you all to get up. Hello? Boys, up. Ooh, come on. Stand. There you go. Good boys. Now I want you to all go to a different table and tell someone at that different table the comment. Not the table that gave you the comment. Okay. And you return to your table. Now if we wanted to do this to the absolute extreme, everybody at each of these tables would then get up and go to another community and tell them the comment. That's what social media marketing does. It is an engagement. It helps you to learn what's going on outside of your community and comment on it and become engaged with it. It's interaction. That's the difference. And that's why it's important that you're all doing it. Your website is very, very important, but it needs to have more. It needs to have engagement. And that's where your social media comes in. I haven't got enough hands. So we're going to move across to why it's important. Go around there, do that. This is good. 99% of Australians are now online. We have the 1% representative down here. It's nice to know we've got, oh, there you go. Give it time, you'll be there. You won't have a choice soon. 69% of that 99% are using social media. And of that 69%, 31% of them are aged over 65. I've spoken, and you're going to have to forgive me if I lose my voice. I've been doing the 15-minute sessions all day, and I'm talked out, but it's been fun. A lot of people have said, oh no, our community, or your clients, don't use social media. What you're failing to understand is the baby boomers are now moving into your community. The baby boomers will bring technology with them, and they are going to expect you to communicate with them on their level, not on yours. So if you're not doing it yet, you'd better get started. A few other statistics that I haven't put on here though, 58% of all internet users in Australia are aged between 50 and 64. That's the top end of your baby boomers. You do not want to miss out on them. It's a major shift in the way people choose to communicate. Media, news headlines have blogs that allow people to comment on them. And the whole Obama campaign was built on social media. They changed the way we communicated with the public or with their engagement process. And you don't want to be missing out on that. So where do we start? How many people have got a Facebook page for their business? Okay, this is pretty good. Not bad. How many people use Twitter for their business? And we just lost the crowd. Okay. And how many people blog? And we've really lost the crowd. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. The most commonly used, and what, I'm getting a crick in my neck up here. The most common and widely used are Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Now let's take these a bit at a time. A lot of people use Facebook for their personal use, especially in your clients. They'd be grandmas, granddads, communicating with the family, the kids. It's the only way they engage with their family on a lot of occasions. A lot of people are housebound. That is their only way of communicating outside of their environment. You're missing out if you're not on there. You don't want to miss out on becoming part of their engagement process. Twitter, I have a lot of people go, oh, I don't get Twitter, don't understand it. Twitter is your chance to use 160 characters, just 160 characters, to make a comment. And I'll tell you a little bit later about how you can do that in one easy click. LinkedIn is more on a professional basis. LinkedIn, you should have your personal business profiles and your business profile set up on LinkedIn. Who uses LinkedIn? Oh, goody, we've got some hands. Yay! LinkedIn is purely for business to business and business professional to business professional, and you build your professional community. Now for yourselves, you should have a strong LinkedIn community between yourselves so that you can stay abreast of what's going on. You're undergoing major changes at the moment. You need to know what's going on and to communicate with each other and with the key decision makers. Link with the state and federal members of parliament that are influential to your market. Set up with them so that you become part of their conversation. It's your opportunity to be heard. YouTube is probably not as important to you, except we have amazing transport vehicles out here. If they had a video for you that for the vehicles that you carry or that you have for them, that shows the special lift apparatus that makes it easier for a wheelchair to get into their machine. Imagine the effect if you had that on your Facebook or your website, and a client or the daughter of a potential client is looking, how am I going to get mum home from hospital now that she's in a wheelchair? And she sees a video that shows exactly what she needs. That video is going to be worth a whole lot more than a page of text. So talk to the people who supply your network and supply your services and ask them to provide you with videos. Create your own YouTube channel, put it on there, you get a double hit. Put it on your websites. Does everybody have a website? Yeah, good. I've got no hands up now. I'm leaving. Good. Put it on your website. Video and images are the most powerful tool that you'll ever have. And blogging is a whole different ballgame. We will get to blogging in a minute. So we're going to find out, where do we start? So I'm going to start with blogging, because I don't think too many, oh look, blogging. And that's the question. To blog or not to blog? And it appears the answer in this room is to not blog. Change your mind. You can blog with your website. You can have a blogging factor built into your website, or you can have it as a separate entity. It doesn't matter which way you do it. Blogging is simply a way for you to start engaging with your community. Remember, we spoke about the little tables being the website. A blog is like having a small community of people who can comment on and engage with you on key issues. Make it relevant to your community. Make it factual. Make sure that you've got the right information that's relevant to them so that they want to come back. Give them an opportunity to comment on it. And there's a couple of different blogging tools. Some allow their comments to just go live straight away. I would not encourage you to use those, because those ones are a problem if someone decides to have a bad day and bad mouth you. Suddenly you've got bad publicity raging across the internet. You don't want that. So make sure when you're building a blog that you have the ability to approve and control the comments that are going up there. It's a simple process. So the ways of getting started with blogging are, oops, face the sound desk. Pick a domain name and pick a web host. The domain name needs to be something that is relevant to what you do. Please don't pick abcenterprises.com, because that doesn't tell them what you do. Google looks for, the first thing Google looks for is the relevance of a domain name to the keywords. That's where you want to be pitched. So pick a domain name that does fit what you do, and have a few if you need to. Pick a web host. That's where you store that blog. And there's a lot of free services out there that are a dime a dozen. Go to Google and say, just put in blogging or blog services, and you'll get a slew of information, and just read the fine print. Create your blog, which means writing up your first statement. Now that might be about the changes to regulations, it might be about a new wheelchair hydraulic lift into one of your vehicles. It could be any number of things, but make it worthwhile for someone to read. Don't just go off on the whole, we do this, we do that, we do the other thing. They don't care. Nobody cares what you do. They care what they get. Always write your blogs, write your marketing material, write your web content based on what the consumer gets, as in what's in it for them. Try to always do it that way, and then you'll keep their attention. And make a list. And I'm not saying, not a shopping list. Make a list so that your blog is 5 tips on how best to get around XYZ. 25 things to remember when. People respond well to quantified lists of topics or headlines so that they know what they're getting. Simple thing, write strong headlines, such as the one that I kept forgetting. You Google my YouTube, I'll Twitter your LinkedIn. It's confusing, but I'm sure it had a few people intrigued. It certainly had the hotel staff intrigued last night when I asked them to print it out. They weren't sure what I was asking them to do. Make it topical. Don't just talk about anything. Keep your eyes and ears to the news of what's going on in your local area. You don't always have to talk about your services. Talk about the things that are relevant to your community, your tribe, and I'll talk about tribe a little later on. Make sure that what you're talking about is of importance to them. That way they will listen to you, and then when they need your services, because you're all in the same boat, you're not providing something that people need every day. It's when they're suddenly incapacitated, suddenly needing transport, suddenly change of events or services that their family can't provide anymore, then they need you. It's not like milk that they buy it every morning. So you've got to be at presence of mind when they need you, and this is the way you do it. You create the relationship and add to someone else's thoughts. Go looking for blogs on the topics that you think you want to be seen to be an authority in. Surely that would be aged care services, transport facilities, the local area. I talked to, I don't know where my gentleman is from Yamba, I'm hoping he's here. But the local services in Yamba are different to the ride community in Sydney. So talk about the services and the needs of the community and what's going on. Make it topical to the people that you're talking to. And the other important thing is to use statistics. Refer to statistics and factual analysis of what's going on in your area of influence. People will thrive on information that's relevant to them. So that's your blogging. And it's really, really simple. And a few people I've spoken to have said, oh yes, but I haven't got time. Once you've got it all set up, Facebook takes about 15 minutes a week. A blog could take about 30, because you've got to make sure you've got all the statistics and all the information. Once that's all done, it just flows. And you can find ways and means of doing it. I've talked to them about getting, go to your local TAFE and find out whether they're doing a media communications course, and then ask them would they like to take you on as a project. You don't have to do it yourself, you just have to manage how it's done. That's the difference, because I know a lot of you are short on resources. You've got a lot to do and very few hands to do it with, so we've got to be creative about how you get it done. Oh, I've turned it off. Lord. Help. Okay. There we go. We were right. Facebook. Everybody knows Facebook. Facebook is the single most widely used social media platform on the planet. Most people use it originally for their personal goal, personal aims, stay in point, put up what they've had for breakfast. Some of the things you see people put on is scary. Now, there is one trick. I want you to remember, I had a lovely session with the sister of Mark Zuckerberg, who created Facebook, against much controversy, and she was the marketing manager for them for about 7 years. The thing you need to know is that what you put on Facebook stays on Facebook. You might delete it, but it's still there. They have storage banks that would be about 3 times the size of this whole stadium. Wall-to-wall, floor-to-ceiling storage banks. Every bit of information that you have ever entered on your Facebook account is stored for life. Do not put up photos of yourself rolling drunk in the gutter with a bottle of Smirnoff. It will be remembered and it will be found. The other thing you need to know is if you put comments relating to Smirnoff, within 24 to 48 hours you will receive ads for gin. Is it Smirnoff gin or vodka? Thanks. Who are the drinkers in the family, eh, Denise? Be very careful about what you put up. Be thoughtful about what you put up, because it's going to stay there forever, even if you think you've deleted it. Well, okay. 1.1 million active users use Facebook. I'm talking about in Australia only. You are absolutely got to stay up to date with how you communicate. Use Facebook. If you do nothing else as a result of what I'm talking about, get yourself set up with a Facebook account. It creates presence. It creates an easy engagement platform. It creates specialised applications. Now everyone looks at me with a blank face when I say this. When you start a Facebook account, and I'll tell you this in a minute, you've got your personal account and then you've got your business account. Don't mix the two. Keep your personal account separate, but you have to have a personal account before you can set up your business account. So make sure that you've got that all set up as a business account, because that does different things. Within a business account, you can create apps, and we're all used to the apps on our smartphone. It's a similar sort of thing. It's easy to do and it's all free, and you can have an event app. So those of you who are obviously transport, you have your social outings that you engage with and create for your community. You can create an event in Facebook that they can then book your services through Facebook, and you get the notifications, and it's all done. They can then, because they've got their own group of friends, say, oh, I think the rest of the gang would like to do this as well. They share your link on Facebook and that little event app to their community. Their community then says, oh, we'll go too. And suddenly you have a full outing set, done, and you haven't had to do any other marketing. It's all done, provided you've got the right tool, the right app, and the right language that you're using. It's easily done. And it's able to be measured. Facebook has a thing called insights. Only for your business accounts, up on the top header board area where all the navigation is, there's a little button called Insights. When you click on that, it will tell you of all the posts that you've put up, how many people actually clicked on, how many were engaged, how many you purchased, and I'll explain that in a minute, how many were organic. Organic means they just found you through the normal processes of being on your network. You can actually buy friends on Facebook. Some people think that's a bit nasty, but it's very essential. When you do a posting on Facebook, you'll see if you go into Insights, there'll then be a button on the right-hand side that says Boost My Post. You click on that, and it gives you the option to nominate who you think you want your post to be boosted to. And you might say, aged over 65, within 25 or 200 or whatever kilometres of this address, because your business Facebook page has an address attached to it. And there might be a few other criteria that you wish to choose. You then say, I intend to spend $5 a day, $50 a day. It's never more. For my company, I spend $25 a day. You press the button and you say, I only want it to run either until I run out of money or for 1 week. And I always propose that you say for 1 week or for a defined period of time. You will then see that it will go into the marketplace and it will identify people that fall into that criteria listing and drive them a message to your Facebook page. You don't know these people, but suddenly they are your target market because you've put that in your criteria listing, and you're able to get them to come to your Facebook page and start liking you and seeing your posts and engaging with them, and your marketplace is growing. It's very simple, able to be measured at every point. I'm a great believer, I'm an old direct marketer from way back, and direct marketing, it's return on investment and measurability. So everything that I'm suggesting to you today has a point of measure. Do not go do any advertising or marketing that you can't measure. It's a waste of time. Because if you can't measure it, you can't control it. If you can't control it, you're throwing money after, good money after bad. Okay, getting started. When you say you want a Facebook business page, this is what it looks like. And you've got the option to choose whether you're a local business, a company, organisation or institution, a brand or a product, an artist, band or public figure, I'm sure there's a few of those, entertainment or a cause community. Now obviously most of the time you would want to say that you're an organisation or a local business. Depends on the nature of how you're set up. And from that point you go in and fill out all the details of your, my microphone's just changed, doesn't matter. Fill out all the details related to your particular business community, and then you get started and you start promoting your posts and off you go. And it's that simple. So then we have the ever unpopular Twitter. Now Twitter, I don't actually personally like Twitter, but I do acknowledge that it's extraordinarily powerful. It is an engagement process that's really quick, and you're able to, Twitter's different to Facebook in that it's straightforward. If I was sitting at a marketing conference and speaking at a marketing conference, I would guarantee you there would be at least 2 or 3 people on every table tweeting. And they would be tweeting comments about what I'm saying. Heaven only knows what they say. And they go out into the marketplace. And everybody that follows each of those people will see those tweets. So what I suddenly then become known to millions of people because it's 6 times however many people those people know. When you're starting on Twitter, you want to make sure you've got it right. The first thing you do is choose the right name. It's got to be short and relevant, similar to the other things we've talked about. And it has to be what we call outward. Call it what the person that you're trying to communicate with will relate to, not what you think. Often a mistake made. Then you create a bio that captures the name of your business. Short and sweet. Don't say basic, you know, we do this, this and this. Talk it from the person's what's in it for me perspective. Then you do a photo. Come on, babe. A unique photo or an image. I would suggest your logo. Does everybody have good, commercially sound, well-graphic logos? If you don't, please get it done. And then you select the right people to follow. You cannot set up Twitter, get it right, without following about half a dozen people. So make sure you know people you'd like to follow. I would suggest you follow your relevant local members, your relevant state members, your relevant federal members. So then you know what they're saying in the marketplace. Possibly your local industry associations that you want to be connected to. Follow them, you've got your network set up, and it all then starts going virally from there. Similar to the way we had people running around tables. Now, all of that must sound like a hell of a lot of work. So there's a real trick. It's called multitasking. With tools such as Hootsuite, try saying that 5 times, you can set up your Facebook page, put your comment up, and Hootsuite, because the way you've set it up, will then send that comment to your Twitter account, to your Instagram, and we haven't even gone down Instagram because I figured what I'd do is stay with the ones that were most important to you. It'll send those things out to you. So you only have to put it in once, and it's all done. Every post is similar to that, and you can nominate which channels you want it to post to. So it's easy. You only have to do it once. And you connect your touch points then all through the thing without losing time and effort. Does that make sense? Have I lost you all? Are you asleep yet? No. Oh, good. Try harder. Okay, so 10 steps to writing your social media marketing plan. Because the trick here is you've got all these things happening. It's like any other marketing plan. If you just work it by going, oh, we think we'll put up a post today, it's not going to work. Plan what you want to do, plan your attack, plan who's going to do it, make them accountable, put in KPIs, and manage it like an essential part of your business. Otherwise, it will not work, and it will just fade off into obscurity, and people will not do it anymore. And suddenly you'll look at your Facebook page and see it's been 6 months since a post, and you'll wonder why things aren't very active. So you make sure you set up your company website or blog first. If you don't have these, I would urge you to just get a basic one set up. Come and talk to me tomorrow. I'll be back down in my little stand and we can talk about the possibilities of how you can do that on a low budget or high budget if you choose. There are a number of ways of doing it. Because what you want to do is make sure your Facebook page and all the other things are linked to your business website. 80.5% of small businesses have Facebook, have LinkedIn, have a website, and don't link them all together. Waste of time. Link them all together so that they're feeding channels. If you have your website ranking works on links, how many external links you've got. So if you're linking it to YouTube or linking it to Twitter or linking it to Facebook, that counts with your search engines. Step 2, create a personal and professional social media pages, such as we've just talked about. So we won't labour that one, and I'm conscious of time, really conscious of time. Step 3, link your blog content, which is what we just said. Step 4, identify your audience and build your tribe. It's not a word you hear often. A tribe, you guys have a very specific tribe. Your tribe is built on the people who are using your services. But it's not just the people who use them, it's the people who look after the people who are using them. So it's the children, it's the siblings, it's the partners, it's the carers potentially in nursing homes or in hospitals. You have different ways of communicating. So you would have at least 3 tribes, and you have to channel how you talk to those people separately. So you've got to know who they are. Find your favourite social media sites of your tribe. So if you know that the children of your clients use or go to a particular social media platform, use that platform to give them your message. Don't try and talk to them somewhere else. It's not going to work. Use all types of media to create that communication. It's really, really important that you don't just have one. We refer to it as the octopus mentality. Have at least 8 tentacles of marketing and advertising. And your social media can be at least 4 of them. Hang on, running out of page space here. Oh no, this is really going to confuse you. Set up a Clout account. Now, this is not essential, I'll tell you that now, but it is good. It helps you to keep a score. Clout interrogates your social media pages and ranks you. And you want, it's like a golf game, you want a really good rank. So Clout allows you to know whether it's working or not. That's all it is. But it's a handy tool, and it's a good one to know. And Discus is even better. Discus is a commenting platform. So if you register your blog or your website with Discus, and it will then feed comments back to you as to what the marketplace is doing with your site. Again, not necessary, but really, really good for you to know that you're doing the right thing and you're going in the right direction. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, I'm not pressing any buttons. This is cool.
7, 8,
9. Create a list of related websites. This could be your competition. It could be industry sectors, it could be any number of different websites. You want to keep a track of what the rest of the world is doing. That's all that is. And make sure that when they have comments, that you comment back so that you're engaged in that process. Oh, we got 10. Now, sign up a service that monitors your success. On Facebook, that's your Facebook Insights. On your website, it's Google Analytics. It's code that's embedded in your website. And I'm going to quickly... How am I going for time, Denise? I'm going all right?
Yep, another 18 minutes.
Cool, I can say a lot in 18 minutes. Okay, measuring the content. Those of you who have websites, etc., do you measure what's happening? Or do you just have the website up there? 9 times out of 10 when we're talking to clients, we realise that they put up the website, and we'll just talk websites for the moment, and kind of think it's an electronic brochure and never have to do anything with it again. No, 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 no. Your website must grow, it's organic, it changes, it never stays still. Your search engines are checking your website every 2 weeks and refreshing it. Google changes its algorithms at how it finds you at least 3 times a year. So you've got to keep working it, got to keep staying on top of it. And the only way you can do that is to measure the results. And how we do that is by, on your Facebook, how many shares or mentions did you get? What sort of traffic are you getting to your website, or to your Facebook? How many people are viewing those videos that we talked about on YouTube? Is your content having a positive impact with the search engines? Because all of these things are feeding back to your search engines. And then your search engine ranking, which is when you key in, don't use the word community transport when you're keying in search engines to see whether you're ranking, because I can guarantee you your clients aren't using those words. Your clients are probably using words like transport or car service or something. Now, if you're taking notes, take this down, go to Google and type in Google search word tool. That'll give you a Google tool that allows you to put in, and I would challenge you, put in the word community transport and see how many times it's listed, because the tool will give you the ranking of how often that search term has been used in Australia and the whole world, in 2 separate columns, in the last 30 days. You want to use words that rank high in your website and your blog and everything else. This is the best way of doing it, because we in the industry, in your industry, you're going to use words that you're familiar with. Your clients may not use those words, and you want to use the words that your clients use. When you get the right words, make sure that the content is on your web page is using those words, no more than 7% of the page content. If you start going over 7%, if the word will use transport, do not start peppering every page of your website with the word transport, because if it's more than 7%, Google will blacklist you and you will never be seen or heard of again. Important small tip. Oh, the number of subscribers to your content. If you've got a website, and also on your Facebook, you can have content subscription apps on your Facebook as well. Have a newsletter. Have a volunteers newsletter, but also have a newsletter for your clients. And that newsletter needs to be really quite innovative. Don't just talk about what you do, make it something that's relevant to them. What's happening in the community, what's coming up, what's going on at the cinema, is there a special seniors promotion? Whatever it is that's going to engage the people. You want subscribers, because those people are going to regularly hear from you. If you don't know how to talk to them, your message is going into the ether. Okay, measuring the social results. Let's get to that. Number of followers across all channels. That's, get a spreadsheet, do your Facebook, do your LinkedIn, do your Twitter, do your website, and monitor. Just put it in each month, roughly, what the numbers are of people coming to those, so that you can keep an ongoing count of that. Your level of engagement. How often are people commenting on your posts? Or are you seeing that you put a post up and nobody's listening? Your posts must engage with comment. You don't want to post up something that no one really cares about. Make sure it's something that people can comment about and start, engaging in a conversation. And your relationship with key influencers. And these are your local members, your industry-specific people. You want to build a relationship with them. That's where LinkedIn comes in. And are people promoting or recommending you on Twitter? What happens with Twitter is once you start being seen and heard as a person of influence, other people will start saying, you have to follow everybody that's going to be involved with this, and make it a 6-month plan. It's really important that you've got a mid-range vision. 12 months is as long as you can go with this, because you don't know what's going to happen in the industry that you need to comment on. Analyse and understand your audience. We've talked about that. That's so that you're actually speaking the right language. Create the, choose your media channels. We've talked about that. You don't have to have all of them. Choose one to begin with so you get it right. Then next one, then the next one. Create tools of measurement, which we've talked about. This is an important one. Appoint an editor. You do not have to do it all. Share the responsibilities if you possibly can. Be consistent. If you say you're going to post every week, for God's sake, post every week. Don't suddenly go AWOL for 6 months because your channel of communication is broken and I think earlier you had a session on trust. You've lost the trust if you stop talking. And be flexible. Move it around. Don't always come at the same angle. If you've got staff members, engage them. Get them to start talking on your Facebook and your Twitter. Make sure everybody's involved. It's really important. Now to finish up, because I'm sure you're sick of the sound of my voice, I'm going to show you a few examples of social media gone horribly wrong. This is a good one. This stupid reporter, or PR executive, was heading off on a flight to South Africa and posted this. She subsequently lost her job. I don't know that she was welcomed very much when she arrived in South Africa. She had a huge following, I might add. So thousands of people saw this post. Thousands of people saw this post. Dr. Phil. Everyone know Dr. Phil? Lovely big cuddly bear of a man. He posted this on his Twitter channel. What was he thinking? This is another example of don't press buttons before you've thought. Work out what it is you want to achieve. And for the life of me, I cannot understand what he was trying to achieve. It is beyond me. And then you've got this one. This is sort of just an exercise in self-flagellation, as far as I'm concerned. This guy had no idea what he was doing. See how you see that little hashtag truth? When you're putting a tweet up, you could, like today, you could do hashtag Facebook or hashtag CTO, and it will then go into the marketplace. Hashtag just links it as this is what we're talking about. So other people can then follow on with that and add more comment. And I love this one. Apparently Mozart has risen from the dead and is performing. And only $15 more to the point. On that note, I would encourage you, start marketing social media. Start engaging. If I've completely confused you, I apologise, but I'll be here tomorrow down at the back right-hand corner here. Feel free to come and chat, come and abuse me, come and tell me if I've got it completely wrong, but I'd love to hear your feedback of what your challenges are and what you think you need to do and how we can make that best. And I'd like to thank you for your time and attention.